Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derek. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do they thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
Alfred Stevens, and you're listening to the Wrestling IQ 101 podcast.
Hey everyone, this is Andrew from Wrestling IQ 101. When I'm not hosting our podcast, I'm usually at collarandelbowbrand.com. That's right, Collar and Elbow is the only place that combines wrestling with street attire. And I know what you're thinking, I want to look fashionable too, and I also want to save 10%. So head over to collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code WIQ101 and look fashionable and save some money. And now, on with the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew, and you can follow Wrestling IQ 101 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. And today, on the phone with me, is the El Capo Grande himself, Tony Chini. How's it going, man?
El Capo Grande is here, and I am feeling good, man. I'm feeling like I'm the best. I just got out of a pretty crazy tournament, 16-man tournament. Wrestled 4 grueling matches, and I'm here today, man.
So, I mean, to wrestle 4 grueling matches, you got to be in peak condition. I mean, how did you get ready for that?
Like years. I mean, I've been training for it this whole time, ever since I've been starting. You know what I mean? It's not just something that it's like, oh wow, this is something I've been thrown into. Now I just got to do it. You know what I mean? Like it's. I've been ready for something like that my whole career because I needed that opportunity to do something to really escalate myself and show that I could be the best. So hopefully that shows people that I'm capable of doing just that.
Sure. It's always amazing because those tournaments can be pretty grueling. I mean, you never know who you're going to face. I mean, you can face somebody bigger than you, smaller than you, but I mean, to keep moving and progressing, I mean, you had to be on your feet, right?
Absolutely. I mean, people of all shapes and sizes definitely in this tournament, and it was pretty crazy because a couple people were kind of some last minute additions. Like I thought I was wrestling somebody else in the first round, then I ended up wrestling Onslaught, who I'm sure you know.
Yeah,
and he's huge. So I mean, I wasn't ready for that like right off the bat, but I mean. I got one over on him, and I was able to outsmart him, and then I went on to the next round, and there was his name's Charlie Bonifer. If you've never heard of him, then definitely check him out because he's someone to look at. He's real rough, he's hardcore, and he gave me a run for my money, but I was able to get one over for him. And then I went on to Mr. Spectrum. He's actually the former World Heavyweight Champion there. And there was a little scuffle between managers on the outside, and I was able to pick up the victory. And then I went on to the finals against Philly Mike Swanson. So we had a really good match, and he's someone that I've wrestled a few times, and we always have good chemistry. So I was glad I was able to do the finals with him. And both of us, were able to prove that we were 2 of the best there. But when it comes to the number 1, we got to look at El Capo Grande.
Yeah. And it's been crazy because in the past, I mean, you've wrestled big Dominic Truex, and of course, you've held your own with him as well. Yeah, we've been to battle a lot of times, and I've lost a few, and he's lost a few, and I knew what to expect kind of with Onslaught because they actually were a tag team for quite some time. So I know that Big Dom showed him a lot of what he knows. I'm ready for Onslaught because I've also wrestled him quite a few times as well. If you haven't known, I wrestled him out in St. Louis for the GTS Heavyweight Championship. Sure. And you're no stranger to taking on some of these big giants of the wrestling world, and it's pretty incredible that you hold your own. And it just proves to show what kind of talent you are for sure. That you're able to get these wins sometimes, because I don't envy you, man. I don't want to get into these rings with these guys any day soon. So it's pretty amazing that you do it.
I appreciate that, man. I really do. I mean, if I had a trick, I'd really say, I try to outsmart and do anything I can to get somebody on the ground, and it doesn't have to be something cool. It doesn't have to be something crazy, but as long as it gets the job done, then I'm happy with it. And some people, might think a little bit too much, and that's why I might have them beat. You know what I mean?
Sure. It is crazy because before you alluded to things changing in that tournament, but such in the tournament, such is life. And, of course, COVID-19 hit us, and you went out and did some hashtag delivery of positivity. And how did that all start?
Honestly, it started with a little bit of negativity, which is pretty crazy because it just, with the fact that it happened, everybody was put in a predicament and everybody was put in a slump and, everybody was feeling that, so, including myself. So I wanted to be able to kind of get everybody on board with something that was positive and something that was uplifting and something that would help people out that's already helping others, you know what I mean? So we were able to raise enough money to help out the hospital and a couple of the local police officers and a couple of the local, like the heroes, the local people who help around and do their job, and it was cool, man, and it was a good experience.
Yeah, it's always awesome to give back to the community, and it was really awesome to see that campaign that you started, and it really helped out a lot of people.
Yeah, man, it was good. My sister, she kind of was the one who saw me, being all in a slump, and she told me to, turn it around into something positive, and that's when I thought about it. And I contacted Pizza Hut and one of my local Wawas, and they were able to both team up with me to get some food for everybody, so it was good.
That's amazing. That is pretty cool. Here at WIQ 101, our favorite thing is making that fuck money, like wrestling superstar Virgil, but you went out and you created a cameo, right? Yeah, man. Cameo, if you look me up, Tony Chini, I love Cameo. I do cameos all the time, and they're one of my favorite things because you never know what it is. It could be a happy birthday. It could be, insult this guy. It could be, motivate this guy. There was one time I got something where it was like, I'm going to watch this every day to motivate me to, do better. So make sure it's something really intense, and, I had to go crazy, and it's just, it's fun, and I get money on the side for doing it, so it's like a win-win, you know what I mean? But it really helps me out, it helps other people out, and Cameo is a great thing. There's other people on there, like Lucha La Raza, he's a really good guy. You should definitely go check him out on Cameo, because he does some crazy ones. Sure. It's amazing, because I remember you telling me you had one, and I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. I don't think anybody else has one around here. So... yeah, I mean, there's a couple people I know that have them, but it's crazy because it's a bit of a process unless you know what you're doing. Like as far as like getting onto Cameo. Yeah. But once you're on, it's easy and it's fun and I think anybody could have one and make a couple bucks. You know what I mean? Like even if you don't have to be the biggest superstar, you don't have to be the craziest whatever. Those people will find you and they'll find something interesting in you, and they don't even have to know who you are, and they'll want you for that role and that part of whatever it is, somebody's birthday. I've gotten reactions before from Cameo, like really, like people's reactions to the cameos that were sent to them, and that's very uplifting. It's a very cool feeling to have somebody like laughing and enjoying what I sent them, and it's a cool thing, you know what I mean? And I also just, on top of that, just started a Patreon account. Okay. So that helps me out, too. And there's a couple different tiers and a couple different things you could do, exclusive, matches that are not on my YouTube channel and pictures that I don't post on Instagram and not no nudies or anything like that, but you know what I mean? Man. Just like cool, like backstage, whatever it is. And, it's a cool thing. It's just to help me out and to put up a little bit of extra content. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that you're always thinking ahead of the curve. One of the first people I think who's been doing this, so it's pretty cool. It's crazy because you mentioned YouTube and posting things. You've gotten fan art, you've gotten fan mail. Every time you get one, you seem to make a pretty cool video about it. What's been your favorite thing that you've received or a letter that you've gotten?
Wow, that's really tough because there's so many things that, and it's not just like fan art and like fan mail. Like it's things that people will see you at a show or give to you at a show or a sign that somebody makes for you. Like one time I showed up to the show and there was like 4 dudes like older than me in the crowd, and they're in the back of the crowd and they have Mamma Mia written on like a bunch of pizza boxes. And it was so funny because it was like, like these guys just got behind me like right away, and like everybody in the crowd, they had the pizza boxes, and this is with UWC, a company that I've been with for a while now, and they always have a really receptive crowd. And one of the things that I love is like the little kids, like the kids, like they really love and get into it. Like they really believe everything that we're doing, and that's the best part about it. You know what I mean? When somebody comes up to you with a sign and they say, "I want you to win," you know what I mean? No matter what, like that's a great feeling.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is a pretty cool feeling. But I know you collect action figures, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
You have a favorite action figure out of all of them, or maybe like a top 5 or something?
Oh man, well, I have a bunch of action figures, I really do, but my favorite one in my collection is I actually have a Classic Superstars, I think it's one of 3,000 Superstar Billy Graham, and it's in black and white, and it's really, really cool. Like the box is really cool, and it's just like a one of a kind. Well, not one of a kind, but special edition. And it's just one of those things that I look at and I'm like, that's legit. But that's cool. And then I also have an Eddie Guerrero Classic Superstars, and he was my favorite wrestler growing up. So that's another one of my favorites. My sister got me that.
Sure, of course, Eddie Guerrero. I mean, the anniversary of his passing was just the other day. It's crazy because he is one of the all-time greatest. So it's pretty cool that you like his action figure. I was kind of surprised you said Superstar Billy Graham. I wasn't expecting you to say that one.
Yeah, I honestly, like I said, when I was going back to how I wrestle and how I don't do a lot of crazy and flashy stuff. Even though Superstar Billy Graham was a flashy individual, he was very basic in the ring, but he got the job done. And there was a lot of people like that, like Bob Backlund and Bruno Sammartino, of course, Italian legend, and it's just I love to watch those matches because it was so simple, but like it was just like. It was so technical, like even like watching matches from the UK from back in that time, like Johnny Saint and Mike Jordan and like those types of guys. If you've never seen that, like that, it's incredible. It's like beyond its time.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. There are some classic matches if you go back and watch them for sure, and some classic memories. But you're forging your own classic memories, and you're doing them all over the place at UWA Elite, TCW, UWC, WWA, ACW, LTW, CCW, SAW. I mean, Modern Vintage, ECPW. I mean, you're making your stomping grounds for yourself. It's pretty impressive.
I appreciate that. Actually, like an hour before our interview, my Rhode Island debut just aired. It's from a couple of weeks ago, but it just aired on Showcase Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. It's me versus Blackstrom, who's another crazy good talent from the local area here who trained at the Wrestle Factory, and we had an amazing match. It was a lot of fun, and it was cool. It was a really cool atmosphere. The people in the back were really cool, and the wrestlers were really talented. If you want to check out some more of their videos, and I was really happy to be there. But I mean, that goes back to being around and going places. I've been to Illinois and Alphi St. Louis, and I was at Indiana and, backstage to the Collective, and I was, Ohio and Delaware. I've been very fortunate, and I've been able to go to a lot of places that not a lot of people are able to do, like within, I guess 3 years of your career. So I've got a lot of good opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great because you alluded to all those legends before and some of those classic memories. A guy who is still making his own path is Tony Atlas. He's creating memories all the time for fans when they come to these shows. He meets them, and he still gets in the ring. But you actually got to wrestle him at TCW, and you actually picked up the win.
Well, I wouldn't say I picked up the win. It was a double count out draw.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, it wasn't a loss. So that's the main thing in my head. And I obviously I made a statement, and I did what I did with Tony Atlas. But at the end of the day, I wrestled a legend in wrestling, and I wrestled an Olympian, and I wrestled somebody that I look up to, somebody that my father watched. It was an incredible feeling. It was almost euphoric. I'm not even going to lie. I thought that they changed where the entranceway was.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just so like it was just one track mind. Like I'm here with Tony Atlas. You know what I mean? It was crazy. I didn't even know where I was. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It was an intense feeling. It was really cool to be in the ring with him. But at the same time, like I said, I had to make a statement. I had to get the job done, and that's what I did.
Yeah, I was there that night, and it was pretty wild to see that for sure.
Jay Evans joining the Mob Squad out of nowhere. I mean, it was a big night. It was a big night for me, Zach Ruby, Francesca, and Jay Evans' careers, because we all got to work with him, and we all got to make that statement together and show that we're all making our rounds in professional wrestling. We're all showing what we do. You were talking about UWA Elite. Jay Evans was just there, and Zach Ruby and I are making our rounds in modern vintage wrestling and Titan wrestling, and we're doing our thing. You know what I mean? We're all out there. We're hungry.
When you brought up, I'm glad you brought up Zach Ruby, because one of my favorite promos you did was outside the famous Jersey Shore house, right?
Yeah.
I love the fact that you guys are kind of different, but kind of the same, and it really works.
Thank you. For those of you who don't know, me and Zach Ruby have known each other since we were 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been best friends ever since. And he actually grew up, like, it's not that he didn't like wrestling, but he didn't really watch it. And I watch, every week religiously, everything that I could get my eyes on and my hands on, I'd watch and read and see and whatever it was. But he was more like, if I was there playing the game, let's play around and then whatever, But later on, he started getting more into it, and he obviously was in shape because he actually was in the U.S. Army.
Oh.
So when he got out of the Army, he decided, he was going to try to pursue it with me, and now we're here. Now we're in the Mob Squad together, and we're doing our thing.
Yeah, you're helping him out. You're getting him opportunities. You're showing him the ladies. It's pretty impressive things you've been able to do for him.
Yeah, well, we do it for each other, but I'm trying to catch him up on many years of wrestling that he didn't watch. You know what I mean? So that's
Sure.
Also the one thing that's sometimes at a disadvantage, but at the same time, he's got a mind. In the U.S. Army, he was an intelligence analyst.
Okay.
So he knows what he's doing, and even though he acts goofy, and we both can act goofy sometimes, when the switch is on, that's it. It's go time.
Sure. And that's all that matters. So
Jersey Shore.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Tony. How did the Mob Squad come about? What's the mindset for you guys, and where do you see yourself going with this?
So the Mob Squad, obviously the Mob Squad is a faction. We have many people in it right now, and that we even tried somebody else. I'm sure you've seen the match with Dave Dahl.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Dahl, he had a little tryout, and obviously that didn't go well. And we were trying to scout talent. We're trying to see who it was, the perfect people, and we came up with the perfect combination between me and Francesca. Already being the couple, being the power couple that we are, the king and queen, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
The boss and the boss, the two bosses, if you will, I guess. La Capo Grande and Il Capo Grande.
Mm-hmm.
And what's it called? Zach Ruby, like I said, was an intelligence analyst in the U.S. Army, my best friend for years.
Mm-hmm.
I already know who he is. I know what he's capable of. I know this, everything that he possesses. And I know that at the end of the day, he's going to do whatever it takes to get the job done. So I had to have him in it. And with Jay Evans, we used to actually hate each other. We used to feud.
Mm-hmm.
We used to do whatever it takes to take each other down, to take each other out. But I knew that he had that aggression and that he is the key to professional wrestling.
Yeah, I mean...
So sometimes you have to make a deal. Sometimes you have to make ends meet. And sometimes you have to say, listen,
mm-hmm.
we beat the crap out of each other, and now it's time to show everybody what we can do.
Yeah, I think that's what made it so shocking, because there was a rivalry there. And, how did you even convince him that this was an opportunity to take?
Well, it's simple. Look at the place that we did it. Look where we, look at the landscape, the people that were watching, the person that was involved, Tony Atlas. We're going back to that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big statement to be made. He wants to be seen too. And for a while, he was thinking about getting off the scene. He was retired in the World Titan Championship Wrestling, and now, wanted to show that he still has a lot left in the tank. He still is the key to professional wrestling. He's not retired.
Yeah, and that's pretty awesome that you were able to talk him back into coming back. I mean, what a statement you guys made for sure. Tony, let me ask you this. I mean, you're known as the delivery boy. What was the strangest delivery you ever had to make? And have you ever taken a piece of somebody's pizza?
Well, wow. The strangest delivery I ever had to make.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. I don't know, but about taking the pizza, I will answer this real quick.
Uh-huh.
There's actually a video of me on camera taking a slice of pizza from a crowd member and throwing it back at them. And taking a bite too.
You threw it right at him?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I threw it in their lap. I was like, yeah, it's gross. It was in Pennsylvania, nonetheless.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that. I mean, you want to stick to New York.
I might not be a delivery boy anymore, but the only good pizza's in Jersey here.
Jersey or New York, right?
New York, that's number 2. But the New Jersey's always number 1.
All right. So let me ask. So when you get pizza, what toppings do you go for? Or you just keep it plain?
I'm actually a chicken bacon ranch kind of guy.
Okay.
I like chicken bacon ranch. That's real good.
Yeah. You like it extra?
There was actually one time
mm-hmm.
I made a delivery. This is a true story. I made a delivery,
mm-hmm.
And it was I was delivering bar pizza, and I forget what else I was delivering. But I show up to this house, and I'm not joking. A duck walks up to me.
A duck?
A duck. A duck walks up to me, and I'm like, what's going on? So then all of a sudden this duck starts hissing at me. And then this kid starts up, and this kid looks at me like, what are you doing on my lawn? And I'm like, hey, somebody ordered a pizza?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just looking at me like I'm crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I had to put the pieces together and just walk to the door. So I knock on the door, and then somebody came out, and then somebody had to come around the house, and then somebody paid me, and then I left. But it was pretty crazy.
Wait, they're looking at you like you're crazy for delivering pizza, and they have a duck on their property.
Like people have ducks, but this was not a farm.
Uh huh.
You know what I'm saying? it's not like it's like I was delivering to like a farm or whatever. Like it was like this like random like back street neighborhood, and this duck just randomly walks up to me.
That's incredible. That is crazy. I'm sorry these things have happened to you.
I had to really think about that question.
That is crazy though. That is some story though. That is amazing. Oh man, but yeah. So yeah, that I don't know where we go from there. That's a crazy story. But it is kind of cool that you've been able to combine your Italian heritage and wrestling. You know, it's always crazy to me to think about things that you've done. Not just you, but any wrestler living out their dream. But you've been in the ring with one guy who I think the world of, and that is Magic. And how's it being in the ring with him?
Magic almost killed me one time.
Oh.
It was funny though. But every other time that I've been in the ring with Magic has been great. But Magic almost killed me one time with a tiger. It was a tiger bomb, and it was more of a tiger driver.
Oh.
He just drove me down, and it was safe, everything. But I was just like, I was expecting a tiger bomb, and I was like, oh man. And it was just funny. No, I didn't really actually get killed, but on camera it looks like I did. Mm-hmm. And if you watch back the match, Francesca's filming it, and you hear her go, "Ow!"
Yeah, right. Because she kind of knows the in and out of what she's seeing, right? So yeah, it kind of was kind of crazy for her to see that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. She was not expecting that, but no. See, he was so apologetic afterwards, and I kept telling him it's fine. I'm okay. Like you did what you had to do to win. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it was funny. Just watching back the footage, and the fact that I was okay made it even funnier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does.
But I've been in the ring with him a few times other than that, and I love getting in the ring with Magic. It's always a fun time. It's always a good time, and you always learn something.
Yeah, he really is spectacular. Him and Monster Mac.
Yeah.
They just get better every day with age. I mean, they're like fine wine.
Definitely.
Let me ask you this. We talked about Eddie Guerrero.
Congratulations to Mac, by the way, on winning the Titan Championship.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that was a huge win, and now you're going to be eyeing him up, right?
Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. One day, I would love to wrestle Mac one-on-one, but I've wrestled him in tag team competition a few times, but never had the opportunity to wrestle him one-on-one yet.
Yeah. And, it's going to be one hell of a matchup if you do. I mean, you have some good backup behind you, right?
Yeah.
And a pretty good support system.
I mean, even if I don't have them at my side, I'm still a Capo Grande, and I still show them I'm no Capo Grande. It doesn't matter if you're a monster. It doesn't matter if you're Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Magic and monsters, they don't beat the boss.
No. We'll have to see, and that's a great matchup. I'm looking forward to seeing if that actually comes to fruition. I think you got something there.
Yeah, man, let's make it happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, before we talked about some of your favorite wrestlers, what was your favorite match growing up that you watched?
So, if I had to go to one match,
mm-hmm.
It would have to, and it's surprising because, you would think Eddie Guerrero's in it
mm-hmm.
because he's my favorite, but he's my all-time favorite, like, watching, like, his career, just, like, the way he was, like, the way that he connected with the crowd and the way that he connected with his opponents, like, the way that he could adapt to anybody and do anything, no matter what his size was, no matter, anything, like, he was very talented in the ring, but, enough putting him over because, for 1 second, I got to put over this match that could be, a little spectacle, but whatever, Mm-hmm. Anyway, WrestleMania 20 main event, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Chris Benoit. That match, when I watched it, like it honestly made me want to wrestle, like because that was the year I started wrestling, I started watching wrestling was 2004,
mm-hmm.
and when watching that match, that was like my first WrestleMania, and it was the main event, and just like everything that happened, like the storytelling, it was intense. You know what I mean? It was just one of those matches that I'll just never forget.
Yeah, that was a classic match for sure. and it was. I mean, it was, that whole night was pretty spectacular. I mean, you had Eddie and Angle, the return of the Undertaker.
So I love the way that Eddie won that. Like, you know,
with the boot
out for a second, and he untied the boot. It was genius.
Oh yeah, that was a great show. I mean, the only one that kind of was a dud was Goldberg and Brock. I mean, other than that, it was pretty spectacular.
But the thing is like when I was a kid watching that, like Goldberg and Brock, I didn't care. I wasn't even listening to what the fans were chanting.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention to any of that. Like in my mind, I was just seeing Brock and Goldberg in the ring with Steve Austin. I didn't know anything else. I didn't see anything else. I didn't care. Like, even though the match itself wasn't the best, like at the time, like I said, like I didn't even see that. Like it was just, to me, like just a really cool moment.
Yeah, it was. You know, it's funny that you mentioned Shawn Michaels being in there for your, you know, one of your favorite matches. Shawn Michaels was in the main event of my first WrestleMania I watched, and that was with Bret Hart at WrestleMania 12.
Wow.
And I was like, yo, these two guys are amazing. And I remember at the end of that match, and there was a draw, I was like, yeah, fight forever. You know, but I didn't know when I was a kid, like, fight forever. But I knew that feeling. I was like, they need to finish this. They got to resolve this. And they did. I mean, but for a few seconds there, I was like, yeah, I remember that feeling of being naive and just being into what you're watching. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, you know, it's rare that something nowadays really pulls you in like that, and you know, it's just crazy because then it's not anybody's fault. It's really just the fact that, you know, like as a fan, you grew up and you know what's going on, but that kind of, like, you know, it's kind of one of those things where it's like you know, your parents tell you what's going on, and you know that, like, it either ruins it for you or you keep watching, and you know, I don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean? Like I always knew growing up what was going on, but I didn't care. Like I just watched because I enjoyed what was going on.
Sure. So did a lot of people. I think we're all in the same boat there. And I think it's pretty interesting that, you know, what are some things that people don't know about you that you like outside of wrestling? Is there like certain movies or music that you like?
Well, I mean, as far as like music, I remember like growing up, like I always used to listen to a lot of like Nirvana.
Okay.
And I used to listen to like a lot of grunge, you know what I mean, like that kind of era, and like also like a lot of like rock, like classic rock, like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and that kind of stuff. But also something that, you know, some people might not know about me is in middle school and in high school I actually was in a band, two separate bands, actually a few different bands, but you know, scattered throughout. But I played a couple shows and I was the singer in the band. And I did a couple, you know, like other instruments, like just like little, like dabbled in anything, but I didn't really, you know, play actually like, you know, the guitar or anything like that. But I, you know, I dabbled in the bass a little bit, and the drums, and I sang and had a couple shows, and it was cool.
Have you thought about singing your own song?
I thought about it a couple times, like, and I thought maybe if anything, like just like put in like a small, you know, inning track, but I don't know though, because I'd rather trust somebody who does it professionally. And you know, I actually have been looking for somebody for a while, and I feel like I tried at first, you know, because I'm one of those people who like to give opportunities to, you know, the people I know and like my friends and family, and see what they could do first. And so I was trying to see if, you know, I could get some, like a friend, you know, obviously to pay a friend to get my music going. And I feel like every time I try to communicate with them what I want, it's not really like, they don't know wrestling, you know what I mean? So they don't really know what's going on, and then I kind of just don't get an answer. So I have to find somebody, you know, who's legit. So I gotta get into that soon. I do have a little remix of my royalty-free theme song that I used to use. So, like, I kind of do have my own theme song, but I gotta get on that.
Yeah, you had one on your page, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that song. It's pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's always cool when you're making a name for yourself and you get to give back to the wrestling community, and there's no better way of giving back than just a couple weeks ago, you were part of Val's Pals Go to War. What did that opportunity mean to you to be out there and wrestling for Val?
I love them so much. It's people like them and families like them that really bring us together, and like that's the reason that we're there. You know what I mean? Other than to the obvious, to make money and to run a business. That's one thing, and that doesn't matter. Like, what we're doing really is for the fans and for the people who show up and the people who are consistent, like Val and his family. Without them, I mean, honestly, we'd be wrestling in front of a brick wall, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really brings the community together.
Yeah, and you got to put that into perspective. Even with COVID, like for a while, like there's a lot of people who still haven't run like actual shows since it started, and they keep doing tapings, and that's in front of nobody, and you just hope that people see it, and you hope that people watch it, and that's crazy because throughout this whole thing, even though all this is going on, they're still showing up and they're still showing their support.
Yeah. Actually, it's been one of the brighter parts of COVID is I know for me, I was cooped up for a little bit and just getting out there, having some fresh air, and some good company, and enjoying people. I mean, you can see it through the mask. People are smiling, they're cheering, they're booing, they're mad at you. So you can feel that emotion even if the masks are in the way and you're sitting away from each other. And it's awesome to see that you guys are still evoking the same emotions that you were before this pandemic.
The thing is everybody needs to feel included.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Everybody needs to be included, and it's obviously there's different aspects. There's the things that go on in the back and the things that go on in front of everybody. And, they're two different things, but at the same time, like you need to be able to include the fans because, like I said, without them, there's nothing. So, having somebody like Val there, and being able to include him in as somebody else there, and not somebody not somebody because of his disabilities, we're going to give him this or that or whatever. He's there as another person there, and that's what makes him smile. That's what makes us smile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what that makes everything count. Like I have a sister actually who has a spinal cord injury, and so I know this. You know what I mean? She wants to just live a life that's regular and that's normal and as normal as can be. And just when she shows up somewhere, she wants to have fun and be included. So, the fact that we do that for Val every time, it makes me feel, kind of a home feeling.
Yeah, it does. It is a nice feeling knowing that, and you do. I mean, you can see it in all the fans. I mean, so that you guys really, when everybody goes out there, they're putting on this event just to make everybody feel happy and included, and that's awesome. That you just said that. So, yeah, hopefully there's going to be more in 2021 because it's great to see everybody smiling and getting mad at you guys and just enjoying the time out there.
Definitely.
Yeah. In closing, my last question for you is, so 2021 is approaching. I'm sure you still have a lot to do in 2020. What are some of the goals that you have for the upcoming year and maybe the rest of this year?
Well, for starters, I need to get some gold around this waist already. I haven't had, any gold around this waist. I obviously won the tournament, the quest for the best tournament of UWC, like I mentioned at the beginning of the interview. And that's a big, big thing for me and a big honor for me. But it's still not a gold strap. And, I need to work as hard as I can to be able to get to that next level to show people that I've earned it and that I deserve it.
Sure. And, I think you've been doing it, man. I think I think you're on your way to getting some goals very soon.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and you have a great support system around you. You know, you can see who you surround yourself with. I mean, you talked them up, and you didn't even have to. I mean, you know, you got the brains, you got some muscle behind you, and it's awesome, man, to see this come to fruition for you. The Mob Squad is definitely one faction to really not mess with if they're coming to your promotion.
Absolutely, man. And you know, you say I don't have to, but I do, because, you know, without them, Mob Squad isn't a unit. And we're a unit because we do that for each other. You know what I mean? I'd expect Jay Evans to do the same thing for me, or Zach Ruby to do the same thing for me, you know, and of course Francesca. But, you know, it's just, that's just how we do it. You know, we need to make sure that everybody knows about all of us, so all of us can prosper, because that's what the Mob Squad is.
Sure. And Tony, can you let people know where they can follow you on social media and how they can get in touch with you?
Yeah, of course. Because if you want, you can go on Facebook, facebook.com/Tony Chini Stub Your Toe. You could also go on Twitter, Tony Chini 96, and that's the same thing on Instagram. And like I said earlier in the interview, I have Cameo and Patreon. If you want to go on Patreon, get exclusive photos, videos, a whole bunch of exclusive content. Check it out. Cameo, get exclusive videos and, you know, real cool stuff on there. You could also find me on TikTok at Tony Chini. And, yeah, I mean, pretty much everything.
You know, you're the first person I know who said TikTok. Oh, sorry, the second person who said TikTok.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I just... And I'm not going to lie, I don't put a lot on there, but, you know, I try to keep up. Yeah,
because we talked to C Bunny, and she was like, I'm on TikTok, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But, yeah, you're the first person, I think, of on Wrestling IQ 101 who's actually said TikTok, so that's pretty cool.
Right on.
Tony, you know, it's always been a pleasure talking with you. I'm really excited for you, man. I'm excited about the future, what it holds for you, and, you know, I just can't wait to see where you go, and I love following what you're doing. And for anybody here, make sure you go check out Tony. This has been Wrestling IQ 101. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and we'll see you guys really soon.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I appreciate it.